it's.
Speaking of high school, the Overtime Elite is a new program. It is a startup professional path designed to provide an alternative to college for high school prospects. And man, this thing, as opposed to the G League, I think it's making a splash. And then I think this is going to work the way they've got this set up, Kyle. They made waves last week. They signed brothers Matt and Ryan Bawley from West Oaks Academy in Orlando, Florida. But the Thompson brothers are high school graduating members of the 2022 class with 2023 draft eligibility. So they were a very coveted group. But this Overtime Elite, it will be coached by former UConn coach Kevin Ollie, and players who sign with the league are expected to earn a minimum of $100,000 per year, not included bonuses, in addition to shares of equity in Overtime, a sports network popular among prep players. They are also able to profit off their name, image, and likeness already, and as much as up to $100,000 of college tuition covered for those who do not pursue professional opportunities after playing in the league. Kind of a good deal for some of these guys. I mean, that will seem to work for certain kids.
Yeah, I mean, it is really interesting. I think they've locked up a couple of 2023 prospects already, and like you said, these two guys from Florida who are 2022 guys who are very highly ranked. So you're always, I think, a little bit leery of they're talking about all this money and that sort of thing, and you wonder, is it sustainable, over time? I think that's yet to be seen, obviously, and you just don't know for sure over the long term. But with the kind of the changing world of college athletics with name, image, and likeness, this is kind of falls under that umbrella from a high school perspective, and it's got to be super enticing, for these kids who, have this opportunity, at a pretty young age. So, I guess my feeling is it sustainable? Overtime Elite has kind of built up its brand, over time as something that kids, basketball players follow, and it's kind of they've made a lot of waves of their mixtapes on YouTube and things like that. You'll always see the name Overtime on there, and that's what they do. And so they kind of have a built-in audience that way. So I think that makes it interesting that it's not an old school system. It's something kids are know already. And they obviously have some some impact that way. So, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I have to read more about it. And I remember reading this, I think it was back in March, about the league they were planning on starting up. I'll be interested to kind of learn more and read more about it. I'm curious to see, how it gets started and what the lasting, impact of it will be, and if they're able to stay sustainable over time. That's always the question. It's definitely intriguing, and you wonder if it has a local impact as well, if any kids end up going that direction from around here.
Well, also, who are they going to play? Is it a league or a team? If it's coached by Kevin Ollie, I'm like, okay, well, who are they going to play against?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer. I don't know what if that's
a confusing thing. I mean, the G League has multiple teams where, I guess this is what they're trying to get to. But if they only build up a team in the first year, are they just going on the future?
Playing prep schools and things like that, or that's a good question. I'm not sure about that either.
Be interesting to find out. What else is going on? Talked about the AAU events coming up this summer. The Peach Jam, of course, the Big E, and there later on. But coaches getting out, visits, whether it's football or basketball, that has been something that hasn't happened for nearly 2 years, because you got to go back the season before last. That they get out and start doing that again, and seeing kids and being seen That's going to make a big difference for these kids and for the programs.
Yeah, I mean, as far as that goes, you'll have kids starting to take visits here at the start of June for football, or basketball too. Football's kind of in a key spot right now. I was talking to Caden Curry, the Center Grove defensive lineman. He's trying to map out his visits, but he's got baseball still, and Center Grove's really good. They could be making a run, in the tournament. But interesting to talk to him. He had some really good things to say about IU and Tom Allen. And that would be an absolutely monstrous get, if IU could lock down Caden Curry, because he's, got Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. He's planning to take official visits to all three of those. So you're running up against the big dogs when you're talking about Caden Curry, who's probably – I'm not sure I've seen a defensive lineman as good as him in my time covering high school football. But said in Indiana, may get an official visit. Well, at least get another unofficial visit. And they were his first offer. He's got some friends who have walked on at IU from Center Grove, so that would be pretty exciting, I think, for Hoosier fans if they could get Caden Curry. I'm not saying that's happening for sure. They're in very tough competition for him, but yeah, I mean he's planning on taking visits. Once they get that figured out. So a lot of that will start happening, start to get back to doing some on-campus visits, some, more in-person recruiting as far as basketball as well. A couple events in June, dates that coaches can get out to watch events. And then obviously in July, there's three, I think it's either 2 3-day windows and 1 4-day or vice versa. But anyway, there's probably 10 days they can be out recruiting in July as well. So, should be back to somewhat normal. We saw Phil Mickelson in the crowd that he was following him at golf. I mean, that looked normal. So it's fun to see things start to get back to that realm again in sports.